to lights, camera, cricket, it was a massive victory for Bangalore that catapulted them to the third place in the IPL table. They defeated Punjab by 138 runs at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, which was the second biggest margin of victory in IPL history. Punjab put Bangalore to bat after winning the toss, and Chris Gayle completely stole the show. Aided by 12 massive sixes, Gayle scored 117 runs of just 57 deliveries. Akshar Patel finally dismissing the West Indian, but with AB de Villiers contributing a 47, Bangalore finished with 226 for the loss of 3 wickets. In response, Punjab lost Manan Vora in the very first over. The visitors were all over the place as wickets fell in quick succession. From 19 for 2, Punjab were left reeling at 39 for 6. From there on, winning was just a formality for Bangalore. Srinath Arvind and Mitchell Starc were the chief bowlers for Bangalore, picking 4 wickets each as Punjab were bowled out for 88. With that, Bangalore were registering a massive win of 138 runs. Well, our player of the day, no doubt out there, it has to be Chris Gayle. What an innings, 117 runs of 57 deliveries, aided by 12 sixes and 7 boundaries. And a smart over of the day was bowled by Srinath Arvind. A brilliant spell by him, and the 6th over of the match, he picked up 2 wickets and just gave away 5 runs. Well, with that win, Bangalore have actually moved into the 3rd spot in the points table. A great win for them out there. Punjab, though, left at the bottom. They've played 10 matches and have got only 4 points. Very difficult for them to qualify from here on. Well, I'm joined by Nikhil Chopra in the studio, and he will talk about this match with me. Nikhil, we saw all of that. We have to say that great performance out there by Bangalore, great batting by Chris Gayle, we will talk about it. But other than Riddhiman Saha and Akshar Patel, nobody in that Punjab batting lineup actually got into double figures as well. What has happened to all the Australians in the lineup, your Baileys, your Maxwells and your Millers? What is happening out there?
It's called the pressure of the scoreboard, but you're absolutely right. I guess with such a big side, it just baffles me. How come Punjab would be right at the bottom? You look at the batting firepower, and T20 is all about batting and then the combination of the bowlers. I thought the youngsters have bowled really well, barring apart this game with Chris Gayle show. You look at Anureet Singh, the youngster, you look at Sandeep Sharma, fantastic. Mitchell Johnson, off colour. You look at some of the other big names in that side, all off colour, not able to take responsibility. I'm just surprised. Somebody needed to just give them a little shakedown. I guess they were in their comfort zone. Just to get them to realize and put a mirror right in front of them and say, just take a look at yourselves. You're probably one of the best sides in the IPL on paper. But at the end of the day, that paper is of no value unless you go out there, get the runs that make all the difference. Your reputation is as good as your previous game. So you need to pull up your socks. Radhika, and the important thing is, I guess, even the support staff, I'm sure the franchise owners themselves would be baffled with such a fantastic batting lineup and so little to show.
You were talking about the bowling, Nikhil, and in fact, Anureet did a pretty decent job today as well. You see Mitchell Johnson, I mean, he's such a big name and he completely failed. And there was Anureet still bowling a tight line and still sort of giving away just 6 runs and over. He was disciplined even when Chris Gayle was going at him.
I think that youngster has done exceptionally well, with not that great amount of experience, but that talent. And you could see that he's hungry. He wants to try things, He's bowling as if he's been playing IPL for the last 8 years, and he's played international cricket, coming around the wickets, over the wickets. And the good thing is he's not scared of experimenting. If he gets hits for a 6, the very next ball he'd want to try something different. He'll look at the captain, he'd want to change the field. It just goes to show that this youngster is ready in terms of experimenting, and he's very match aware. The situation aware of what's actually happening out there in the middle, and he likes to make that change. Some players wait for changes to happen, and there are certain players who want to go out there and make that change, force that change. Anureet is one of such kids who wants to make and force that change.
What about Starc, Nikhil? I mean, he's somebody who's continued his form. The World Cup, he was phenomenal. Others are probably not finding it so great, a long ruling season out there. But Mitchell Starc just completely astonishes you with every spell that he bowls.
What Gayle on his day does with the bat, I guess Starc does with the ball. But Starc is a lot more consistent in comparison to winning you a game or putting the opposition under a lot more pressure and getting them their backs against the wall in comparison to Gayle. 147 kilometers an hour. Radhika gets that ball to swing, blinking of an eyelid, and the ball's gone past you. And at that speed, when the ball is coming at a particular line, as a batsman, you're playing the first line, it just changes direction at that speed, maybe a couple of inches. You got no time to improvise then.
Nikhil, we will talk about all of that and that brilliant innings by Chris Gayle. But as Bangalore prepared for this encounter against Punjab, our correspondent Chinnaswamy caught up with 4 players of the team. Captain Virat Kohli, awesome AB, the powerful Chris Gayle and speedster Mitchell Starc, and spoke exclusively to them about the tournament and a much more off-the-field activities. Listen in to what they had to say.
Well, we have with us the royals of the cricket field, but we caught them while they were shooting a TV commercial for Huawei in Bangalore. Virat, if I can start asking you, first question. Is it always a cakewalk for you when you shoot for an ad campaign?
No, it's never a cakewalk. It's always tough giving time to these guys. But yeah, I would say we are all sort of used to it now, so we can finish things quicker. But yeah, it does get really difficult, especially in between cricket matches when you have to come and shoot.
Well, if I can ask you, choice between the cricket field and off field, like things that you do like this, shooting for commercials, would you like better? Which gives you more of a kind of, what do I say, energy building through yourself?
It's a very easy answer, that.
Is it?
No, I don't enjoy this very much.
Right.
No.
You'll enjoy both off field and on field then?
I prefer to play cricket rather.
Yeah.
That's what I do really good.
They really make you sweat here, do they?
Yeah, long hours, it's hard work, but I like the message of the commercial. It's a quite nice message to the whole ad. So I'm looking forward to see that on TV.
Yeah. Long hours, hard work. But I've seen you've done many commercials. All of you all have done. So
I've done a lot of interviews.
I've done a lot of interviews with you too.
Yeah, I've seen
But let
you.
me ask you the same question. What do you prefer? Off field, on field? Shooting for ad campaigns?
On field.
On field, of course. But what's the difference that you like, and what is the fun factor, especially when you shoot campaigns?
Well, it's important to have fun in a situation like this when you're doing a shoot. Sometimes things can get a bit boring, and so you try and find things, ways and means to actually have a bit of fun, so the clock can actually tick. So it's good fun to have such guys to shoot with, and then hopefully it can end and then we go home.
Mitchell, if I can also ask you, what is the thing that drives you? Do you think RCB and the chances of RCB?
Yeah, look, I really enjoy playing cricket for RCB. It's a great cricketing family. We really enjoy each other's company on and off the field. Just enjoying our cricket, spending time together, and just talking cricket as well off the field. So it's great to play in front of such passionate fans.
Well, Nikhil, that was the Bangalore team having some fun off the field. But there's one character out there called Chris Gayle who enjoys as much on the field as much as he does off it. And today he completely blasted the Punjab bowling. 117 runs. He looked like he could have taken the team to 220. Just take us through his batting today. I mean, those massive sixes that he hit.
Unbelievable, you know, when he strikes form, it's one of those days where you want to just open a couple of drinks and you want to sit back, lay back and just enjoy that spectacle. You look at the runs that he's got, the sixes that you talk about, everything in the V. Yeah. You know, 35, 31, long off, long on, and then 32 towards deep mid wicket. Radhika, anything in his zone, you know, pitched up, it was going. Forget about just clearing first stand, second stand. He was hitting the cricket ball on the roof of the stadium. Imagine the kind of power that he's got. Phenomenal striking. That's where I thought that maybe the Kings 11 boys missed a trick. Initially on, you never start with Chris Gayle with pace up front, because that's when he starts getting into the groove. Get the slower bowlers on. Let him use his power. That's why you create chances, opportunities against Chris Gayle. He gets past 30, then, well, I guess you just got to keep your head up in the air and watch that ball flying out. You need to get him out in the first 20 runs, otherwise it gets very, very difficult. Because once he starts hitting, he's offering the full face of the bat. If you look at that, the number of runs that he's got in that V, it's because he's offering the full face of the bat. Very little chances of him missing.
You know, Nikhil, we spoke about Arvind earlier on, and we'll take a look at his, pitch map as well. He picked up those 4 wickets, bowled brilliantly. He's come back after a very long time. A great spell by him. Virat Kohli praised him. If you could just talk us through how well he bowled today.
Well, I guess, you know, if you talk about his confidence, you know, the scoreboard, of course, helped him. That very first delivery, you know, on the spot, just calms the nerves down. And you look at his bowling, you know, the Yorkers coming good, the short length, you know, he surprised a couple of batsmen with his pace as well. And the good thing is that he was there and thereabouts. If you look at his groupings, when he picked up those 4 wickets, everything was in terrific line and length. Though, of course, it helped, apart from him picking up those wickets, that the Kings 11 was helping his cause, losing wickets at regular intervals.
Nikhil, in fact, if we talk about what Virat Kohli actually said was he was happy that Gale had got those runs. He was happy with Arvind's bowling as well, because that's how Chris Gale likes to play. He likes to play larger than life. He likes to take those risky shots, and he hadn't been performing in this tournament. So Chris Gale will be very happy with this innings, and so will Bangalore.
I hope so, because they need a couple of more innings like that from Chris Gale. If they need to make it to the business end of the tournament or the playoffs, they need that man firing, because we've seen in the previous games, when he doesn't fire, the Bangalore boys find it difficult to either chase or set up a decent enough total. So they need Chris Gale firing right at the top. And of course, AB de Villiers is a phenomenal player as well. Then that platform gets set for the middle order to go out there and fire. And that's Chris Gale's way of playing, expressing himself. Well, it gets very difficult to be consistent when you're that sort of a player. But if that consistency comes, I guess Bangalore's home free.
Nikhil, that is what Bangalore will be hoping, that Chris Gale and AB de Villiers both continue to fire, because they've reached the third spot. Nikhil, thank you so much for all those analysis. That is all that we have in this edition, but there are a couple of great matches lined up in the IPL tomorrow as well. The first one is between Rajasthan and Hyderabad. This one is being played at the Brabant Stadium at 4 p.m. And the next match is obviously another great encounter. This one is going to be played at Kolkata, between Delhi and Kolkata. So great matches lined up on Thursday. Do watch, and thanks a lot for watching live.